With panic about the coronavirus going, shall we say, viral, Bitcoin seems to be on a strict regimen of antivirals as price explodes, opening up 5% on the previous weekly close. Are we beginning to see signs of the early market effects of the upcoming halving? Is true, genuine investor excitement responsible for this movement to the upside? All that and more we're going to cover in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin.
Rockwell for NBTV, and this is Breaking Bitcoin.
Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live here in the studio. It is Monday, January 27th, 2020. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. I hope everyone watching today on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, and on Roku with the Investor News Channel app is doing fantastic today. Hopefully you guys are having a great start to your week. Make sure to support the show by subscribing and hitting the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. If you have any questions, drop them in the live chat. The moderators will bring my attention to them when we do the Q&A section toward the end of the show. So this segment right here, Premium Trading Group updates for the premium members. Let's see here. We have scheduled a new member onboarding session for February 11th. So if you are a new member, if you are just recently coming to the group and recently learning how we trade, make sure to show up for that new member onboarding session. We, of course, have tutorial videos already on the online academy for you guys that have access to that. So that you guys can get the introduction. But we always like to do new member onboarding sessions, and we'll be scheduling those once every month toward the middle of the month. PTP Module 5 Lesson 2 was published over the weekend, covering the topic of reversal baseline bounces. The full video walkthrough of how to trade those types of trades, those types of continuation setups, has been posted. You guys can review that lesson at your leisure. The analyst team is working on finishing and optimizing the bottom feeder strategy as well as Minx V4. We hope to have that done by this week. And Quadrigo ATR and what comes out of the bottom feeder project, we hope to get published to TradingView this week for premium members. We did movie night on Saturday. We watched Wolf of Wall Street. I want to thank everybody who came out for that. It was a great community event. That, of course, is not unique to premium members. General members can come. Anybody in the community can come enjoy movie night with us. We do it every Saturday night. Make sure to hop in the Discord, or you can watch us live on Twitch with our commentary and our witty repertoire of banner. Of course, if you guys want to become full-time professional traders, check out everything that we do at premium.cracking.cryptocurrency.com. Like I said, we've got a fantastic show for you guys today. We're going to be obviously analyzing Bitcoin's price. We're going to be looking at the majors such as Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, EOS, basically the big pairs, with the exception of Litecoin there that we can trade on ByBit. We're also going to be taking a look at the halvening coming up. We're going to be taking a look at regular markets today, looking at the indices, looking at some currency pairs, give you guys an update on my Forex positions. We'll also, at the beginning of the week, as we do, take a look at our precious metals, gold, silver. We will take a look at palladium by request and anything you guys want to cover. So if you guys, again, have any questions, drop them in the chat and let's get into today's analysis. All right. Justin, lessen your collar and stay a while. Let's go, baby. Anyway, so here we are in the live scene on the daily time frame of Bitcoin on Coinbase, as we are wont to do, as we always begin our analysis. A couple of interesting things happening over the weekend. Again, opinions on whether to trade over the weekend or not are kind of mixed. That's going to depend on your own personal preference. Let's just look at the technicals. Let's see at what the chart is saying to us today. Price currently trading a little bit under 8,800, right around 8,750. Again, had a nice run up, especially we can see this on the 4-hour time frame right here. Had a very nice run up pretty much for the last, I don't want to say last 36 hours or so, giving some nice, about a 5% movement to the upside, a little bit more if you measure from peak to trough, then it's closer to 6. But overall, if we look at where we closed last week compared to where we opened this week, prior to the New York Open, again, up about 5%. So the 4-hour here is pretty healthy, pretty strong. Putting in an indecision candle on the 4-hour right now, but of course, we won't know until that closes. Got about 2 hours until that happens. But here on the daily time frame, we are about 6 hours away from decision time on the daily. And we have a few things that can happen. If we close directly where we're at, then nothing needs to be done as far as me. This is a no trade zone. We are closing in channel of my baseline indicator. This indicates to me that I should not be doing anything right now because this is the interim. This is the median zone in between bullish and bearish, essentially on top of other factors as well. But the Monday Open can often be decisive for what occurs the next week. But as a patient trader, we'll wait for confirmation, wait for the bullish trend to be resumed before we hop into anything. We did get the exit signal on yesterday's daily close. Nice, erect, unshaven candle pretty much to the upside here, about a 3.22% open to close percentage there. That was the candle that opened up on Saturday evening for me because I'm based in the central time zone and closed Sunday evening for me. And then of course we have the opening of the regular markets, the CME futures pushing price to the upside here. Now we'll take a look at the CME markets here in just a little bit. But again, on the daily, as I said, currently trading at about 87.50 within channel. So what do we need to see? We need to see a few things. We actually need to get a close, not only above 88.26, not only above the upper boundary of our baseline, but because we did flip to the downside, right over here on this candle. This was the candle that closed and violated the downside trade. We actually are going to need a close above 88.93. We're going to need to flip the indicator to the upside to get that good initiation to the upside. Looking right now to be taking price to the mid 9,000s, potentially low 10,000s if we do get that signal. Right now, we're just kind of in the interim zone. Again, there is a potential trade right here on the table that I'm going to be looking at with the analyst team, and that is germane to the recent module that was published to the premium drive, the recent PTP. The recent PTP lesson plan here, which is a reversal baseline bounce. That is a situation. This is a scenario that could call for something like that. We'll look at that here in just a little bit. But again, you guys can see that we are trading in channel. And the very nice thing about reversal baseline bounces is the risk management that they present to us. Because again, if we close outside of channel, if we close above channel here in this situation, that trade will be invalidated. And since we position size and strategize for a trade with a looser stop than that, then that allows us to actually incur a very small dollar loss should that trade be invalidated. Now, we're going to have to take a look and make sure that that is confirmed today on the daily when we actually do end up closing. But we'll give you guys an update on that tomorrow as far as which direction we trade in. But for me, looking at Bitcoin on the daily, that's the only trade that I would have. Currently, with the way, since my indicator is flipped to the downside, I do have to have a directional bias to the downside to take price to the downside. I also have to look at overall the consolidation period that we're coming out of. That informs my directional bias as well. But of course, overall, we just trust the system. We just trust the algorithm as it has been built. Let's see here. Other than that, not a whole lot, honestly. I did see earlier today, before we got this little bit of a correction so far on the 4-hour, really this indecision candle, this kind of short sell-off here on the 4-hour time frame, that we were actually getting a potential rising explosion level, but we are not closing a green column anywhere near the explosion level or the dead zone, in fact. So if you're just strictly using Wadatar explosion as a robust indicator for all of its features, Wadatar explosion is actually telling you not to do anything. You know, it's very key and very important in the market to realize that not every movement is yours. It just depends on what kind of trader that you want to be. I'm going to sneeze, pardon me. All right. Somebody send me those H95 masks. All right. Not every trade is going to be your trade. This is very key, very important to understand. So for a trend following trader, for example, such as myself, we're always looking to get in at the initiation of a new trend, and we are leaving the ranging trades and we are leaving the head and tail of the trades, the top and bottom of the trades, to reversal traders because they are going to have a higher probability of failure. And when we take losses, they are small dollar losses. They are somewhat of the tax that we pay for throwing the jab to be able to get into a very explosive movement, which is what we always look for, which is why we were strategically attempting to get into the short side. Now, that hasn't worked on this current jab. We are presented with another opportunity in the form of a reversal baseline bounce, which we are allowed to take. Should price close above 88.26, that trade will be invalidated. And should price close above 88.93, the short bias will be invalidated, and we can begin looking as soon as WADA gives us the confirmation for trades to the upside. Because again, that would, in my opinion, signal a movement up to the mid 9,500s, potentially even low 10,000s on the initial swing to the upside. But we don't have any of that right now. We have no trade zone conditions right now. As you can clearly see, the candle is yellow. We are closing in channel. And honestly, there's not a whole lot much more to say about that. I know that a lot of people get very excited whenever Bitcoin makes a movement or sneezes. But overall, this has just kind of brought us back up into the median zone of the previous accumulation. We haven't really broke above anything more significant. We do see something interesting on the 4-hour time frame, which is going to be a swing failure pattern. We put in a significant low. We fail to break that on the swing, and then we broach the high. So this is this would have been a 4-hour potential price action swing failure pattern trade, which is a pattern that I do look at. I have talked at length about, and I will be making a Trading Crypto 101 video about right now. Now, we don't have minks. We don't have bottom feeder or its companion that we're constructing right now to help us call tops and bottoms. So I'll have to refer you guys to your own exit indicators or your own indicators that measure overbought, oversold regions for that purpose. But on the daily, again, I think it's more important. The most important lesson that I want to convey here with today's analysis is that we are in a no trade zone on Bitcoin. And that I think overall, again, my directional bias has to be to the downside based on the direction that my indicator's in. And should we get a nice close above 88.93, that will be invalidated and I will be looking for long. So you guys can look forward to that. If I'm in a different position or if I'm in a long position tomorrow, I'm telling you guys exactly why. And if I'm in a short position tomorrow, I'm telling you guys exactly why. All right, let's take a gander at the 4-hour time frame. As I said, let's see, we did get, for those trading the meso time frame here, we would have gotten the long signal on this candle right here. One could have taken the long signal right here without rising explosion level confirmation, and one would have hit all three take profits so far. One could have taken this on the rising explosion level confirmation from Water explosion, and one would have currently hit 2 of 3 take profits on this current movement. So you would have a trailing stop loss on at this point in time, and you would be waiting for invalidation on a 4-hour close below 86.52. Currently, if you're looking to trend trade the 4-hour time frame, a close below 86.52 would put you into a no trade zone between 86.52 and 84.14. Wide variance, but that is what we get after a nice trending movement like that. We don't have continuation yet at this point in time. I do believe that we're going to have to get some consolidation before we can be looking for continuation longs here on the 4-hour time frame. All right. But overall, I would say, looking at the structure on the 4-hour, we do want to see the bear step in and have some strength. But overall, where we are sitting right now, where we are positioned, does seem to be the optimum entry for a reversal baseline bounce short position to re-enter into the trade. And lately, I'm pretty sure it's the but we can see right here, currently on a daily time frame for one structuring a trade right now, we would be looking for a stop loss at 92.15 and a take profit zone between 84.44 and 78.29. All right. Moving on from there, let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, a little bit different. I've been fairly consistent with my opinion on Ethereum. Ethereum actually never lost the bullish trend, as you guys can see. I will circle that and highlight that right now. Ethereum never lost the bullish trend. We maintained bullish, although we did close in channel of the baseline, which put us in a no trade condition, however, qualifies us to take continuation trades without volume confirmation should we break back above the baseline, which is exactly what we did right here. We had purple dot continuation shorting right here. And then as you guys can see, we did get the exit signal closing back above. Currently, again, in long position on Ethereum. Now, those who want to be very conservative, who want volume confirmation on every trending movement that they make, will just be flat on Ethereum. Again, as I've said consistently for the last week, Ethereum margin does not yet need to be hedged. Bitcoin margin still currently needs to be hedged until we get invalidation of the short position. But Ethereum margin can still be held to the long side. Those who want to be aggressive can still be actively looking for longs, could have been looking for longs on the close of yesterday's candle. This is kind of a nice indecision area where one can speculate on Ethereum while remaining safe on Bitcoin and waiting for confirmation before taking the movement, because the movements in Bitcoin tend to be more sustained and stable, and Ethereum, although it follows the same trajectory, is more volatile. But currently, Ethereum is holding the bullish trend. We will get invalidation. We will get invalidation of that on a daily close below 163.42, and we will be actively looking for shorts below 158.51 to, again, as I said, take price down to the mid 140s, potentially even the high 130s at this point in time. But was actually able to pick up a position on Ethereum in profit on this swing to the upside. We are currently getting a daily doji indecision candle, but again, we've got about 5 hours and 40 minutes now until the daily close, and we can see how this all washes out. If one wanted to structure that in mind with the daily on Bitcoin, potentially signaling a reversal baseline bounce, a reversal trader would potentially be looking at this for an area to short sell. But if you wanted to be a little bit more safe and conservative, I would think that, again, holding the profitable position open on Ethereum right now, and then potentially taking the short hedge on Bitcoin, and then you can close out at the daily close, whichever one of those signals has germinated the most, has generated the most powerful confirmation and confluence. And that'll probably be the way I go about doing it come this evening after I confer with my analyst team. Very similar here on the 4 hour. We can kind of see this nice, powerful charge to the upside. PTP would have given you a a full confirmation trade over here without rising explosion level confirmation, and right here with rising explosion level confirmation. You would have hit all 3 of 3 take profits so far, and only 2 of 3 on this recent upswing. Currently getting, even with the reversal candle coming in, the hammer candle coming in right now, we are going to be getting a continuation signal, a gold dot continuation signal that will be invalidated on a 4 hour close below 167.13. All right, moving on to XRP. XRP army in the house. On the daily time frame, XRP similarly in a no trade zone. While we did get the exit signal for at-risk shorts on yesterday's daily close, we did close and are currently trading within channel. So XRP is in a clear no trade zone. We did not lose the bullish trend. We did not actually lose the bullish momentum on closing basis. It was actually only painted intraday. Need to wait for that daily close. Again, I talked about that with the premium members in my previous update last night. We are currently trading at about 23.05, 23.04 now. We've ticked down. We will be able to be looking for continuation, we will be able to look for initial longs above 23.35, but we are going to need WADA confirmation at this point in time, and we can begin looking for at-risk shorts on a daily close below 22.17 at this point in time. Again, short trades, we just need falling volume, do not need the full-on WADA confirmation. 4 hour time frame here on XRP, you can see the exact same movement here. Now, waiting for rising explosion level confirmation would have actually trapped you somewhat so far. The 4 hour non-rising explosion level confirmation would have given you a 2 of 3 take profit so far. But taking the trade after the rising explosion level would have actually gotten you trapped so far, because you are in drawdown at this point in time. However, again, want to note that we are getting the golden dot continuation signal to the long side on the 4 hour. That's invalidated on a 4 hour close below 22.84. 22.84. Moving on to our last ByBit pair, EOS, which we will look at on Coinbase for price action. EOS, on the other hand, is quite different. EOS is quite bullish. Broke above the continuation on today's daily close, and will potentially be confirming for long trades on the daily close, because we have closed back above the baseline and validated the in-channel no trade zone, got the exit signal on your short from yesterday. So again, that one would have definitely wanted to pay attention to that had one been attempting to short EOS. Again, didn't speak to anybody, but I can just imagine this is a scenario where one would have shorted this breakdown candle, even though we never broke the long directional bias right here. As you guys can see, we never broke that. So looking for shorts was inappropriate anyways. At the most, one would have wanted to hedge their EOS margin, in which case they would have probably not unhedged that, potentially not unhedged, but they wouldn't have lost any money. They just would have not made money on this movement to the upside. But again, nice almost 10% movement here on EOS. Definitely the overperformer of the major pairs today, and potentially signaling for more continuation come the daily close, because what WADA is showing here is fairly impressive. Currently trading at about $3.98. So definitely one to keep an eye on as we move into the evening, and we'll be monitoring that as well. On the 4-hour time frame, looking a little bit overextended. Here's that full WADA confirmation on the 4-hour, which just would have gotten you a beautiful signal, beautiful trade right here. Rip roared up into a full take profit here for us. Finally, I want to end with LTC USD. LTC USD similarly putting in the exit signal for daily shorts on the daily time frame right now, and not signaling for at-risk longs, but definitely an opportunity for one to potentially unhedge Litecoin margin. I am still long on Litecoin, have been for some time. Still, definitely Litecoin is definitely one of my what is the term you kids use nowadays? Moonshots for 2020, potentially even into 2021. This is going to be a long hold of mine. So you guys can check back with me in, I don't know, 6 months to a year, and I'll tell you how that's doing. Anyways, Litecoin doing well today. Not putting in as explosive of a movement as EOS, up about 5% again on the daily. Very similar, comparable to Bitcoin. A little bit more explosive than Bitcoin, honestly, though, as you guys can see, because it's 5% on the daily, and we had to aggregate today and yesterday for Bitcoin to get that 5% number. No WADA confirmation because we did close below channel and actually invalidated long trades. We are actually going to need WADA confirmation for this, but we are going to be breaking the short directional bias on today's daily close potentially if we can close above $59.28. Currently trading at $58.59. So we got a little bit of work to do, about another $1 to the upside. If we can get a little bit more volume, then potentially we can be looking at Litecoin longs today too. And of course, if we do close back below 57.36. We will not close above 59.28. Then we will maintain our directional bias to the short side. However, we are going to need to get all the way back down to 53.09 before we can be taking trending short trades at this point in time. So if we get the confirmation, we'll be taking the trade to the upside. Until then, Litecoin is in a no trade zone. All right, let's move on. I want to give you guys an update on my Forex trades because it's been really good. I want to make sure that we're going to be adding Forex integration into the signal delivery system that we have for premium members, as well as getting into Forex education here in 2020. We're getting close to wrapping up with PTP, getting all the material out there, and then we'll work on transferring that onto the website for the real online learning academy. And then we'll proceed with the Forex education and signal delivery system. But I'd like to get the delivery system implemented fairly quickly so that I can at least begin signaling for Forex trades. It's been a really good time. So Canadian Swissy, I just wanted to show you guys, I am short on the Canadian Swissy. Had about 2 days of drawdown. You guys can see my entry marked in the red line. Had about 2 days of drawdown. And price finally moving in my favor. Nice long tail to the downside, a lower low than on the previous candle. About a correction so far of about 50% on today's daily candle for the Canadian Swissy. But overall, have not actually hit my first take profit on this one, so I'll keep you guys updated. But again, price finally moving in my favor here. Euro yen, give you guys an update on this. This is my best for, again, it's the beginning of the year, but this is now my benchmark Forex trade for 2020. I always take my best trade of the year and I put that up. I have a board on my wall. It's just a little competition with myself to see how well I can outperform myself. And then we have a little competition amongst the senior analysts to see who can get the best trade every year. And it's very fun. It's very fun. It's competitive to do this with your friends, with the individuals that you trade with your trading community, with your trading partner, which I recommend you have one. This is just it's fun, it's camaraderie. You never want it to push you to take unnecessary risk. As long as you follow your system and your goal, it's always good to push one another and challenge one another and look for the best trade. But again, the euro yen was able to short here. This has been a beautiful trade. Just letting my trade ride. Again, got about, what are we at? About 176 pips so far. Update from about 125 the last time we talked. Best trade so far of 2020. Pound Swissy, I'm actually long on the Pound Swissy, getting long continuation on today's daily. This will be invalidated with a close below 126.55. But again, this is a trade that I am in drawdown on, so we'll wait for that. Kiwi dollar, I am short on the Kiwi dollar. This is shaping up to be a good trade for 2020 as well. Show you guys exactly where I shorted from right here. I shorted on this daily close. With purple dot continuation, this is just when I managed to look at it. Had full WADA confirmation on the next candle. I took this without rising explosion level confirmation. I took this with just regular WADA confirmation. And overall, trade finally moving in my favor today. Was suffered about a day or two. Actually, only 1 day of drawdown, and then back to break even on Friday's close. And then Sunday evening's candle opening up, obviously, Oanda markets opening up last evening, as with the CME futures, and price moving quite favorably in my direction. So again, from open to current where we're at, up about 55 pips so far on the Kiwi dollar. So overall, Forex pairs look good. If you guys have any specific Forex requests, I'd be happy to look at them in the Q&A segment. We're getting close to 12:30, so I just want to, let's take a gander here. Let's see, I wanted to look at ICX. ICX was a big winner for us over the weekend and into today. We were long on ICX, have been long on ICX for a while. Averaged about 30% on this trade. Trailing stop loss did trigger on this recent correction to the downside. We took TP1 off, we took TP2 off, and then we allowed our third target to ride with our trailing stop loss and was able to capture a nice majority of this long wick to the upside, but definitely catching the meat of this movement. Good trade for us on Icon. So far, Hypercash as well. We are long on Hypercash as well. In pretty decent, in a pretty decent profit with Hypercash here, and just allowing this to kind of continue to move. Engine Coin as well, giving us the nice golden dot continuation right now on today's candle. We're going to see if we can get some continuation out of Engine Coin. Other assorted holdings, Viacoin looking to be the only significant loser so far of the kind of set of trades that I've put on. We are actually getting the exit signal on Viacoin today, looking to close that out toward today's daily close. Other than that, again, overall, just another good week for the premium trading group, for myself in particular, and I hope the members are doing fantastic and well. Let's get over into Tensor charts and look intraday. Let's look intraday at Bitcoin. We do see volume delta divergence flipping to the downside here on the lower time frames. We do see some significant selling. We do have some walls popped up. Our most significant walls are really going to begin here at 88.90, although we do have a smaller wall down at 88.60. And what's interesting is that we can't actually see the dispersal of what would have one time been a large wall down below. So we do see some chunky 70 bids, or excuse me, 70 ask orders. We see a chunky 90 ask order. Overall, these look like they intend to be filled with delta divergence flipping to the downside. So I do feel that potential short-term correction might be in order. But again, unless you are putting on the proper position size and risk managed calculation and looking for that invalidation of a short trade with the daily close above the daily baseline channel right now, I would be a little hesitant at just trading the price action right now at this point in time. Looking down to the downside, we do have a pretty beefy buy order coming in at 86.80. Other than that, we don't really have a whole lot. Let me slide down. 8,600, we have 100 BTC. 8,500 and 86.80 are our most significant walls. The only really drastic thing I do see here is going to be volume delta divergence flipping to the short side. Keep in mind that it did flip over here. We had a nice correction. We didn't actually get the positive, and it has flipped over here multiple times. So nice on this run up. We've gotten some. We do see sellers attempting to step in. We'll see if they get smoked or not. Let's take a gander at. Ooh, I'm not logged in. Shucks. I'll do that during the break. Let's take a look at the broader cryptocurrency market today as well. Make sure that this is updated. All right, we're going to look at USD valuation as we are wont to do. Overall, again, with Bitcoin's movement to the upside, pretty good day for the altcoins as well as far as USD valuation. We have many outperforming BTC as they are wont to do when BTC is in this kind of stability area and putting in some positive correction. BSV up another 11%, QNT up 25%, Ethereum Classic up 12%, EOS up 9%. Significant other noticeable here's honorable mentions are going to be Zcoin, Icon, of course. Let's see here. Hypercash, Holochain, my love, Zcash as well, Nexo up a little bit, and Bytecoin up similarly as well. But pretty much the entire market up pretty well. If we look at in BTC valuation, it does look a little bit more negative. Again, we do have our overperformers here, such as ICX, and you can really see here that these are the assets that you actually would have want to held because when Bitcoin is bullish, you need to look at this chart to tell you what you should have held rather than Bitcoin to take advantage and overperform Bitcoin's alpha. In this case, holding BSV, holding BCH, holding Icon, Litecoin, Bitcoin Gold, QNT, Ethereum Classic, EOS, Cardano, let's see here, SNX, Basic Attention Token, Bitcoin Diamond to a degree. For the most part, holding just about everything else would not have given you in my opinion, a significant alpha over just holding Bitcoin to the long side spot. So always want to keep that in mind. Just because an altcoin is up in USD, it doesn't necessarily mean that holding and selling into the Bitcoin pairing is your best bet. Okay. And again, looking at significant trades, we don't really see anything except for about 37 minutes ago, right at the beginning of the show, we had about 742,000 sold to the short side over here on the old ByBit. All right, it is 12:35, guys. I want to take a look back over here. Let's take a look at gold. Take a look at gold. Gold on the daily is giving us potential continuation of the upside. So a nice movement to the upside, very similar to Bitcoin, a little bit more stable. We were in channel. We did get a nice bullish close on Friday, market opening back up with the CFD over here on Oanda, and potentially getting continuation or a at-risk signal. Now, we don't have, again, rising explosion level, WADA confirmation, so take that as you will. For discretionary position sizing, maybe reducing your position size a little bit, but overall, gold does look good, and one could use this as a leading indicator. I know a lot of people do for their Bitcoin trades as well. Looking over at silver, similarly, silver, again, kind of the Ethereum to gold's Bitcoin, kind of the silver, kind of the Ethereum to Bitcoin's gold. I'm sure that analogy works, and I'm sure you fully understand me. Silver not doing the exact same thing, putting in a nice bullish candle come Friday, but so far just putting in a reversal bearish inverted hammer candle on today. We are below the baseline. While we did get the while we did get the signal to exit shorts, we were set up with a beautiful reversal baseline bounce so far, and we have not broached the bearish bias. We actually need to get a close on silver above $18.39 before we can actually flip our bias to the long side. So silver, we're actually bearish on silver. Now, we do have to wait for a daily close below 1778 to begin looking for trending shorts to the downside. However, you were presented very similar to Bitcoin today, and we'll see how this plays out over the next few days with a reversal baseline bounce opportunity on silver, and especially with that reversal candlestick coming in, that is a little bit more decisive in my opinion. I think that's somewhat of a stronger signal. Looking at Palladium by request. Palladium by request gave us the exit long signal on Friday's candle. And opening up very bearish all the way down into the no trade zone, currently trading and looking to close within channel. Now, we still have to retain a bullish bias to the trend side on Palladium. Again, what do we have here? Another reversal baseline bounce opportunity. However, we will lose that with a daily close below 2277, and we will be looking for shorts on a daily close below 2230. Again, falling volume over the last few candles, nice volume spike on today's sell-off, and where do we see volume? At the initiation, at the beginning of the trend, and at the end of the trend. All right. So definitely keep your eyes on Palladium. It has had a beautiful run up. Palladium's been, fantastically bullish. And then there we see a nice selling spike. Looking to, if we close right now, definitely want to be out of Palladium. If we do close the way that we are. The reversal baseline bounce is still valid. It all depends on where we close. And again, that daily close below 2230 would potentially be signaling and sending us into the short side. However, if we do get a daily close, like that, then I'll actually assume, let's take Quadriga off here, and we'll throw my baseline indicator on. TradingView has been terrible at loading. Yeah, we do have a candle size violation on today's daily close. So we will be waiting for a pullback if we should get that confirmation. We'll see what tomorrow brings us. But currently, due to the candle size, that is a violation of our safety limiters. So we would not actually be wanting to look to enter into a trade on Palladium to the short side yet. Even if we do broach 2230, we would want to see that nice pullback, and we'll have those metrics and those numbers come tomorrow should we violate those levels. All right. And of course, let's look at the SPY. SPY, huge gap to the downside, huge gap to the downside come Monday's open. This is kind of one of those stockbrokers jumping out of windows things. So far, putting in a nice positive correction back up to the upside. But overall, this is a pretty drastic break of trend. For the SPY. We have completely flipped to the short side now. Let's take a gander here. And we will actually be bearish on the SPY for now until we actually get a daily close above 331.49. So for those of you who, we talked about this ad nauseum last week, for those of you who are looking to gain short exposure via an ETF, I do recommend ProShares. The ticker symbol is SH. You can take a look at ProShares SH. Beautiful gap to the upside. If you guys want to pack more of a punch, there is SDS, which is the leveraged ProShares. So this is going to give you 2x exposure. So just to explain this for those of you guys who are new to leveraged ETFs or inverse ETFs, ProShares SH moves inverse 1x to the S&P 500 without calculating fees and costs. So for example, if the S&P moves up 1%, the ProShares moves down 1%. However, if the S&P moves down 1%, the ProShares moves up 1%. Now, contrast that to the SDS, which is the ProShares Ultra. It's going to give you leveraged exposure, 2x exposure. So if the S&P moves down 1%, SDS moves up 2%. So depending on how you want to allocate risk, SDS obviously is going to allow you to gain the same exposure for less cash up front. So you can take the same position size with less upfront cash by harnessing the power of leverage. Whereas if you have the luxury of having all the capital that you require to hedge up, then you can just use the SH. And I went over this last week. If you guys have any questions about this, I'd be happy to answer them in the Q&A section. But again, I've been as I've said for the last few weeks, averaging my portfolio into SH, still weighted to the long side on stocks because again, I don't actively trade, but I do have a portion of my portfolio that I use for my fair weather calculations, and I have been moving that into SH pretty much over the last month, actually. All right, so we're gonna take it's 12:40. We got a lot to cover today, so I want to thank today's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, Spectre Security Coin. Make sure to go check them out at spectresecurity.io. You can actually check out their one-on-one consulting. Tell them Justin sent you. But security is absolutely essential, guys, especially when you're dealing with cryptocurrency. You want to make sure that you are keeping your security and privacy on point. You want to make sure that you're using your password manager appropriately, that you're storing your cold storage seeds appropriately, that you are utilizing exchanges properly, that you're using your VPN properly. And if you want a good company to help guide you and advise you on best practices for all of your digital privacy and security, make sure to go check out my friends at spectresecurity.io. I want to thank them. They also have a cryptocurrency called Spectre Security Coin. I want to thank them for sponsoring today's giveaway. And the way this works is we are going to pick a random YouTube commenter to win 8,000 XSPC. So we'll pull up Friday's video, which had 9 comments. Friday's video, obviously, we talked about Chinese New Year price predictions and premonitions, 2020 analysis. We'll randomly pick a winner here. And it was Tomas Vivaldi. He says, I know it's not related at all to today's video, but today, due to some of Justin's remarks, I finally came to understand how hedging works. And the lights go off in your eyes, my friend. Thank you so much for your participation. You can join our Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Get a hold of me or our concierge bot. I will gladly tip you some crypto, my friend. Conversely, if you want to join Spectre Security's Discord, you can do so from the link in our channel, and I can tip you directly in their bot spam channel. You can download their wallet at spectresecurity.io. Link is in the description down below. I want to thank again XSPC for sponsoring the giveaway, and thank you, Thomas, for participating. We are going to take a brief break and hear from our friends over at ByBit, and then we're going to come back and we are going to talk about the upcoming Bitcoin halvening, and is it responsible for today's price action? We'll be right back. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on BitMEX.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Oh, give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for ByBit with the Cracking Cryptocurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Sorry about the delay there, guys. Apologies for that. All right, so let's get right into this, guys. Oh, that's not it. Here we go. So our first story of the day, and really our only story of the day we're going to be talking about, is about the upcoming halvening. Now, opinions in the Bitcoin community are, of course, split on whether the once every 4 years event known as the halvening is going to propel price to 20,000, the recent all-time high, or even well beyond that, as the daily new supply generated by mining will be cut in half. What is clear, however, is that interest surrounding the topic of the halvening seems to be surging on Google. This, at least, according to a report from the Norwegian cryptocurrency analysis firm Arcane Research. Now, based on search query data compiled from Google's Trends features, Arcane Research has reported that user searches for the term Bitcoin halvening have doubled this month from the December levels. That means we are at highs right now on search results for Bitcoin halvening that we have not seen since 2016. I don't know if you guys know what happened following that halvening. Stuff happened. Now, according to the research from Arcane, the increase in Google searches on this topic to them is a sign that the halving might be capturing the interest of the greater public surrounding a potentially imminent appreciation in Bitcoin's price, and could be the catalyst that sends prices higher in 2020. If we look over here at the Bitcoin block reward halving countdown, this is bitcoinblockhalf.com. We are only 105 days away from the projected halving. The Bitcoin halving is gaining more traction. This was according to an article that was written in Arcane's newsletter. They published this on Friday. They said there is now a clear indication that awareness of the concept is spreading to new people. The previous Bitcoin halving took place in 2016, and it obviously was an event that many credit as a major contributor to Bitcoin's price action, which saw it double that year and even went to surge 13x in 2017. I'm sure you guys recall that. Now, as a quick overview, the halving or halvening was written into Bitcoin's underlying software code when it was launched just over a decade ago. What this means is that every 4 years, or more specifically, every 210,000 blocks, the Bitcoin network undergoes a 50% reduction in its mining rewards. Essentially, the prize for finding or mining the latest block to be added to the chain pays the miner in freshly minted Bitcoin. Now, this is set to reduce from 12.5 to 6.25. This is estimated to arrive, again, according to the Bitcoin block countdown, to arrive sometime this May. Now, many in the crypto space are speculating that this event will boost Bitcoin's price because the pace of new issuance will decrease at a time when more investors are coming into the space, or existing investors are increasing their allocations of Bitcoin. Now, miners regularly bringing their mined Bitcoin to market in order to sell and cover operational costs represents, as we've covered many times before, a steady, consistent selling pressure, with daily mining rewards paid out currently sitting at about 1,800 Bitcoin a day. And a halving would reduce that to just 900 Bitcoin per day. And many believe that this will dramatically affect the selling pressure given existing prices. So again, just to summarize that, every single day we have to assume that there are 1,800 excess Bitcoin that may be hitting the market. And this is why there's consistent selling pressure. This is why, honestly, when Bitcoin's price goes up, it is a fantastic miracle, because that means that more than that amount is being bought every day. So anytime you see a green candle on a theoretical level, the market is wildly bullish. Now, as an investment, Bitcoin has outperformed traditional assets like equities with a price jump of 94% in 2019 that was roughly triple last year's gains in the S&P 500 index of large United States stocks. Now, analysts for the German bank Bayern LB predicted last year that the halving could send Bitcoin to a new record high of around $90,000. But some investors maintain that the event is so well telegraphed and understood that it's likely already reflected in the market price, currently around $8,500. However, I was back around in 2016, and they said the same thing then. Now, within the crypto industry, the halving is highly anticipated, and many enthusiastic Bitcoin believers watch the dedicated countdown website to keep track of the remaining days, hours, minutes, and seconds until it happens. Now, again, I do recommend the website. I showed it over here. This is bitcoinblockhalf.com in order to track the event, which is set to take place on or around May 12th, now just 105 days away. But while it appears that more are interested in what the term signifies, Arcane Research did note that the term Bitcoin halving still garners far fewer searches than just Bitcoin. According to Google Trends, Bitcoin by itself garnered at least 30 times more searches than the term Bitcoin halving. So, in the realm of fundamentals, whether this will do what we want it to and affect price the same way, make number go up, comes down to your opinion. Is it priced into the market? Is it absolutely the no-nonsense, bullish fundamental event that you would be a fool to ignore? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions and where you guys stand on the halving, and we will pick a random commenter for tomorrow's XSPC giveaway. Now, given the bullishness in the market, just taking a look at this nice movement to the upside and kind of the indecision where we're sitting right now, I do want to go live to junior analyst Midwest Attempts and see what he has to say about this price move, because obviously we did get a nice rash of short liquidations coming in. So, Jason, what do you have for us today?
You know, I just try to do my best out here, and I mean, it's not like you guys give me an amazing amount to work with, but I mean, I'm still here, and I mean, look at it. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Is there no stop? Is there no end? I mean, some people say, see you on the moon, and I'm like, I f***ing hope so, because I don't want to breathe air anymore. Because this is getting exhausting. Back to you.
Yeah, brother, it's hard on us all, man. Just keep that chin up, man. It's gonna be all right. Junior analyst Midwest Attempts, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, one of the finest junior traders I know. All right, let's head to let's see what you guys got for me today in today's question and answer segment. First question today is about ZRX USD. The question is it in a no trade zone on the daily, or do I have an opinion on this chart? I have an opinion on every chart, my friend. ZRX USD is in a no trade zone. You did correctly point this out. I'm assuming that you do have access to the baseline indicator. I don't actually see who this question is from. Yes, no trade zone here on the daily. We are currently trading at about 23 cents, about 23 and a half cents. We are going to be in a no trade zone until we get the daily close above 0.2359. Just to be very, very clear. Now we did not lose the bullish trend. As you guys can see, my initiator never flipped to the short side, never flipped to the bear side right here. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Never flip to the bear side right here. So we are getting exit signals for any shorts that are put on right now on today's daily close. We are not getting water confirmation. So if you're aggressive, you could directly be looking for that long on that close above 23.59. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you're going to need to wait for volume confirmation, because we did close below channel, although we did not get into shorts. So this comes down to personal preference and strategy with your back testing, because I don't know what initiators or indicators you're using. As far as my personal system, I'm going to want to be seeing WADA confirmation, seeing as we're dealing with an altcoin right now, and kind of broadly, more broadly speculating on Bitcoin at this point in time. But ZRX is a coin of course it's a coin, is a coin that I like. I think it is a good addition to one's bag. But again, as we are currently right now, we need a little bit more data. What is interesting is we did break the continuation filter for downside trades on today's daily close, and we are actually getting golden dot continuation. But again, need some volume confirmation for this bad boy right now. Bruno Cicerelli asks, do I trade gold on Oanda? That is where I would trade the CFD at this point in time. Yes. Plov says, loving the pace of this show today. Broad coverage, clear, succinct, and to the point. Thank you, my friend. I highly appreciate it. Jack would like me to look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame from December 2016 to May 2017 to check out Halvening price action. It's a great idea. We're going to go to well, we did go up 100%. So what actually happened? I believe the halvening was actually in July, as indicated here by the, actually in July as indicated by the hash ribbons indicator. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, July 9th, 2016. I couldn't remember if it happened in May or July. Yeah, July 9th. So let's get this to July 9th. So this is the day of the halvening. Actually, that's the 10th. Let's go to the 9th. Yeah, the actual day of the halvening. We put in a red candle to the downside, followed by almost 2 weeks of consolidation and a pretty significant correction to the downside here. Almost a 30% correction to the downside. Really quick plunge over the course of 3 days. We kind of listed lazily back up and continued to go sideways. We have a whack-a-noodle, about 10% pump here. Continue drifting lazily to the downside. A screw you candle, a pullback, and then we're off to the races. I think, in quite a sustainable fashion. And it was pretty much just on since then. So initial correction following the halvening of about 30%, followed by about 100% run up. So yeah, if one would have gotten in right around this area right here, if one would have bought the dip, then one would have been up fairly quickly, about 200% before we even reached the peak of that local high. Yeah, and we can see that it just continued to charge right along, ladies and gentlemen, until we eventually topped out in December of 2017. We see overall right in that time period as well, we had just had a recent run up and moved sideways. Does the price action line up? We've just put in a run up, had a nice correction, currently moving to the upside. I think that we're definitely moving with higher volatility, but keep in mind, we are still about 5 months away. So it had been pretty much bullish up until then at that point in time. So if we are, again, prognosis would say if we are moving sideways potentially at this point in time, Interesting development coming in on Bitcoin. We're actually continuing to get follow through and follow through to the upside right now. Actually now, closing the way that we are right now, getting some nice, beautiful Wada long confirmation with the rising explosion level. So yeah, we completely smoked anybody who speculated to the short side there. Let's go take a look back at sensor charts. Let's see. 8860 wall is still intact. Excuse me, not 8860 wall. 8880. Seems like prices. There we go. There we go. It's like it lagged behind there for a second. We did blast through that wall, got turned around, got turned away currently. 8910. Good old nice run up. Go, baby, go. Good stuff. It's like Bitcoin saw the show. Don't forget to open that crate. I never do, my friend. Let's distribute those lemons to our loyal followers over here on DLive, my friend. Midwest Attempts, thank you for the ice cream. You go chill as well. Forza World TV and Kevin K5, thank you so much for the lemons, my brothers. Let's see here. Look at the Scalp X index. Oh, we didn't see a ton of liquidations? That's odd. I was expecting we'd see a lot of liquidations. Yay. All right. Thank you, Crypto Drifter. I appreciate it, guys. All right. With that being said, guys, it is closing to the end of the show, and I don't see... this is scalpxindex.com. Got their nice social sentiment, open interest rising, and liquidations down here at the bottom. Plus, you got market flow, the social index, and the fear and greed. As well as the event log, the buy and sell orders. They used to have some of this stuff at the bottom of the screen, but... All right, let's take a gander here. Got that crate opened up. Let's take a gander. Midwest Attempts, Forza World TV, Ricky T, and You Go Chill. Congratulations, guys. Seeing fewer short liquidations versus longs could indicate most of the open interest in short positions is a hedge from 14K. That is possible. Or heavily positioned shorts at 14K. Yeah, absolutely. Lefty on fire, you are welcome, my friend. All right, guys, with that being said, we got to draw the show to a conclusion. We've got stuff to do, man. I've got programs to write. I've got Bitcoin to make. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day and keep your heads about you with the market moving the way that it is. Position size appropriately, trade following your system, and trust your indicators. As always, I'm Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you enjoy the content, make sure to support the show by subscribing and hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Give us a follow if you're watching on one of the live streaming platforms. Give us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the halvening. Is it going to be the bullish fundamental event? Are we seeing the beginning of that right now? Or is it already baked into the price? I'll try to respond to your comments within the next 24 to 48 hours, and we will pick a random commenter for tomorrow's XSPC giveaway. I want to thank the entire staff for helping with today's show, and I want to thank you guys for watching. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to break down the markets and give you guys our best analysis. Until then, as always, be excellent to one another and trade safely.